Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on Carrot Man today. And we're going to use this team. This one was the team that I built to specifically counter the stuff that Groot does, the Tree Man.
Where shall I go?
A lot of moving parts here, and Erica is pretty much the focal point of the team. I have to say that with this particular configuration, she does pretty well. She can actually take out some Brave Felixes, outspeed Brave Felix, which is actually a huge deal for Erica. But just want to point out the fact that it takes this much support for her to actually do anything significant, which is a bit unfortunate. If it was just her by herself, she really wouldn't stand a chance. But this is the team composition, and we're gonna put it to work in this particular map. Very happy that I was able to get the opportunity to use it this week. I thought I would go the whole week without getting a chance to use it, but here we go. The biggest problem here is Loki, so I gotta make sure that I avoid the status effects that Gateau will provide, and then also I can't use Peony's Dance because that's 2 extra status effects, which will be a bad thing if she does end up getting hit by that. But let me just set this up and then get going. Ideally, I would have liked to warp above the fortress, the enemy fortress, and tank from there, but because Ather has barricade, I can't warp to that position, so that's unfortunate.
Good morning.
Set up like this, and then I don't know, let's take it from there, I guess. Hold up, I think I actually made a mistake here. Oh, I gotta move because it's ranged. I gotta move Saline. She was supposed to be 3 spaces, my bad. I gotta move Saline. Oh, I also gotta move Peony. Yeah, I gotta move Peony as well. This is scuffed. I think I can get it done with
what should I do?
Just moving Erica here and go on the next turn. I think that's probably gonna have to be the play. It's fine. Yeah, because for range, Peony or Saline would have been the target of the assigned decoy, so they would have been the one to tank the hit from Golvek, which would have been bad for me. So I had to, yeah, that was almost pretty bad, but we got out of it. It's okay. I really love how Sabotage has aged in terms of being a debuff. It's just gotten, I feel, better and better and more common, aside from like after it first came out. It was one of the big things that made me really drawn to Battle Micaiah's Refine. She was so strong when she initially got that Refine effect, and it's still kicking on today with all the Sabotage that's in the game. The Discord buff that Ather has, which gives him more damage, you know, when more units, when he's attacking into someone that has more Discord status buffs. So the more Discord, the stronger he gets. I like that effect. It's really good on him, and I expect to see more of that on units to come, because IS is always looking for ways to implement stat swings. That's why you get so many status effects that have stat drops or stat buffs. Thinking of like Tharja's, whatever it's called, I forget. And the new status effect from the new unit, the kid that we just got from the latest book. It's their way of just making sure that you can
Where shall I go?
change the tide of battle, let's say, when you're in it. And I really like having the ability to nerf my opponent's buffs and make myself stronger. And that's just Sabotage, and you know, those other examples are just like one of the ways that you get that done. I think I'm going to be able to avoid Loki, which is good, but I'm going to be eating a lot of the debuffs from, well, Erica's going to be in the front regardless. The big thing about this is that Erica has enough or not enough defense. I don't know how you want to look at it, but her defense stat is low in comparison to Sedith, who is going to be the one providing her with the drive buffs. So he can be there, and then Erica will end up being the near save for everyone, which is essentially what I'm essentially doing is making it so that Erica near saves everyone, and then having the range units away from her will ensure that she also takes the range hits as well, and she does pretty well into range combat because of the set of support. She's going to be able to outspeed pretty much everything. It's such a big swing getting the set of support, which is one of the things that I've been looking into in terms of just getting more damage from my defensive units, because that's we definitely need a way to do more damage. I don't know how else to go about it aside from like treachery, but that gets beaten by lulls. So I'm looking at like outside external supports now to just make my nukes hit harder, and that's just one of the directions that I've gone in. It does work. It works very, very well, but then Sedith is not a nuke, and then you're essentially depending on one unit, or maybe two, depending on how your defense is built, to do the bulk of your work. And if that unit isn't able to quad, you're not getting through shield fighter. So
where shall I go?
It's a tricky situation, but I'm looking at that, and I'm also looking at like other status effects that will get you going on in terms of just doing damage and stuff like that. And also on this team, Reagan is here to neutralize the Hush spectrum. It doesn't neutralize it, but they basically cancel each other out. So that's why Reagan is here.
I go.
But yeah, this is the type of team composition that you want to build or focus around if you wanna make the assigned decoy work for you instead of against you. You can do this with saves as well, near save and far saves. Typically, it works really well with speedy saves. With like, let's say you have a speedy save and a bulky save, it'll work well with that combination, and it works really well with Ice Fjorm and Ascended Fjorm because they both have no counter disrupt. Erica also does well at this because she has no counter disrupt. Without the no counter disrupt, this does not work. You can get like no counter disrupt on some of your other units as well. Tamara, Sita, the team units like that. I find, however, that Erica, because of the Vantage, does a lot better with this particular build. And then also the fact that the other two, well, mainly Tamara, she wants her Time Pulse Echo to do her Sandstorm. That's how she gets her damage off. So Erica, for right now, I feel is the best one at doing this particular setup because of her stat swings. And then also Tamara's defense is a little bit too high. I would probably say the same for at least my Sita. With the investment, she gets really high in terms of her defenses. So it's a little bit difficult to make that work. But yeah, you can do it. Downside is that Erica has to run distant counter in her C slot. Aside, well, I mean, there is a new distant counter seal, but as I said, you need no counter disrupt to make this work. But you still get enough speed with the set of support, and if you can line it up, you get enough speed with Peony as well with her drives. I could probably put some drives on Saline as well, but that is like if it is that you really need it for like the future stuff. And also speed from Reagan support as well. Speed and attack from Reagan support. What else am I thinking? I'm having a really hard time like trying to put together a defense for Astra Anima season. I feel like I'm missing one unit, an infantry unit is what I'm missing, and I feel like I might end up putting the little boy that we got because he's actually a fantastic nuke. He hits so hard. He's the best colorless nuke that we've gotten since, I want to say, Arvel. He is just that good. The way that Arvel like wrecked Ether raids for like a month, I feel like this kid, he has the potential to well, if he was a defensive mythic, he would be a lot more difficult to deal with, but since he's on offense, you probably don't have to worry about that. But he hits really hard, man. He is very good, and that is actually my thinking. I was actually like pulling on the banner for me it's perfect for me because I wanted both Layla and him. Both of them are good options.
holding back.
I want the merges because I don't have a merged up light mythic. And if he's going to be, well, since he's going to be what he is, a unit that unlocks an extra slot, I figured it's worth the investment to have, the merges on him. And also, the stat swings that the unit gets from being in the lock slot based off how many merges, blah, blah, blah. It makes sense just to do that. And I don't think, looking at the schedule, we just got an Astra, we just got a Dark Mythic, so
I will be cautious.
the next one in line is more than likely going to be an Anima Mythic, the one that's going to unlock that extra slot. It's more than likely going to be an Anima Mythic because I don't see them giving us another Dark or Astra Mythic for a while. So, Anima Mythic, and then line that off with legendaries and emblems. It's going to be a while before we get another light mythic that does what the kid does. So it just makes sense for me to try to get as many copies as I can from him on the banner. And also 3 sparks, which I did go through all 3 sparks, and I only got 1 copy. But I got a fair amount of Laylas. For both good and bad, because that wasn't really the target, but Layla is actually a very good unit, a very good rearmed unit. I think she'll age very well. Like looking at her in comparison to Soth, there are similarities there. It was just that
I'll pay them a visit.
I don't know, man. I feel like Layla is just a little bit better, and I don't know if it's like stat swings or whatever the case is, but I just feel like what Layla does is it's her B skill. I think that's what it is. I think the special Bane is really good, but it's really finicky, or inconsistent would probably be the best way to describe it. Layla's B skill really just throws her over the top in terms of what she's capable of doing. So I don't mind investing in her in that regard, or I don't mind getting copies of her in that regard. So he's doing a ton of damage now because of all the Discord and everyone's grouped together, so he's able to put out more damage. So you're going to see it from this hit here. That's a big hit with all the damage reduction that Erica has. That's really what saved her there. But yeah, the Discord stat swing, I have everyone grouped up, so it just made him that much stronger. But yeah, I'm probably going to go back on that banner and see if I can get at least 1 more copy of him. If it ends up being a Layla, then, it's fine. And also the banner was just great for me because the distant counter echo is actually really, really good. I ended up having to stop summoning on green because I was just getting Uthers after Uthers. And a lot of them were 5 stars as well, so I ended up stopping. I think I got him to like mid-merge or something. Just from summoning to the 3 sparks. And then I only got like 2 copies of Hector, which is really unfortunate since he's on red. I wanted at least 1 more, but then after I finished summoning, I was like, what am I even going to do with this? Because still, I really wanted it for my god swords, but none of my god swords work. I'm looking at like Merida, Ascended Merida, but then she would probably do better with the Time's Pulse Echo than the distant counter. And then I'm thinking like, who would really benefit from this? And my first thought is Lucia.
Upon your word.
Either the
Is it time?
Well, actually, I only have the sword Lucia highly invested, so more than likely it'll be her. Just so that she can free up her A slot for something else that gives more speed. And then next option is to give it to Cavs, and I can't really think of any Cavs that I want to give it to. I'm thinking Seliph, but he already has a perf skill. Yeah, none of them really come to mind in terms of just who to give it to. So I have the Hector. Morny is a shout, but I don't really want to do that because I don't know what I'm going to do with her for the future. So I don't know, man. I'm just sitting on it, trying to figure out what to do. But the banner ended up being decent for me. But I wish it was 4 sparks instead of 3. But that's really just whale problems, I guess. But yeah, man. GG's. See you in the next match.